So it's a million Victoria, 26 May, 6:34 p.m. 2020. I was absent for about a week and a half, a week and more, because my last dream I decided, in the dream I was saying I couldn't continue, and I was seeing flu, and I said I will need money to one employer. Well, it was a prophecy I failed to understand in NASCAR as the restarting of the sports, and people have to understand that it's not always as it seems, and because sometimes it's more than that. I decided to see this way because I wanted money, but there's other ways. For example, I will continue. Let me just catch back some of the dreams. There one was and the following day when I started the silence, I was still in Toronto, because in meantime I went Toronto, Montreal, and again it didn't work with the family. I don't know if I should talk about this or not, but let's say that I was still in Toronto, because some prophecies are important where you are, and I suggest if you share your location as well. People in intelligence might know where you are, but also other people should know in your country, especially if it's about tribulation, comets, antichrist, all kinds of system of war to come, all these type of prophecies. So one was, I believe, was one of the first one. I was on my left. I heard another song, "Oh my," and that's a song. Excuse me, I haven't sing for about a year, and it's about Troy Sivan. Sivan is like the Jewish month. That just before that, there was has 649 for God to win. I forget to mention that, and it was a scene that will say it right after this one. So I heard, "Oh my," and it's kind of on my left, and then on my right, I see myself following somebody like in a trail of Jesus. There's just kind of Jesus in front of me. Not Jesus. I felt like this for about half a second, but then I'm stopping because I see him sideways just a little bit like this, and I see that his face will be bigger, just like a man, or you know, like, or does ugly man bigger, and with testosterone or whatever, big head, and I felt like it was not the perfection, which Jesus is the perfection of God and man, and the beauty also physically. It's the sin that deforms us, and saying that, don't say, well, how come there's actors that sin and they sleep, and that's a sin. But it's also, you know, sin makes you nervous, people, but they always go in silent, and instead of being fire in sin, they like lukewarm. That's why some die and they're in darkness, like it happened to me in it's like being a bad servant that had one talent, put it on the ground and didn't share, and that's out to darkness. There's also out to darkness and fire. I won't talk about everything. Let me just put now those dreams and other videos about, you know, talking and preaching. So this one, I was following this Jesus, and I felt for a second that I was upon to look down, and probably there was like, you know, those gel, there's chain with a ball back in the days. When I was behind, I didn't really feel it though, but I saw it, and then I look, and then I see like it's the Jesus trail. That one time I had a real vision of Jesus trail in the last times, and Peter said, how come he, to the people around him, Jesus was in front, he can come and shut the world down if he's good. And Mary Magdalene was just a bit in front of him, turned very hastily and said, hold your tongue. And Jesus, hearing almost everything like we know in the Bible, Son of God, he turned, and with a lovely just half smile said, he turned to the right, and he looked, and he said, because before I come, I will give everyone the opportunity to choose my mercy. And I was a divine mercy apostle. I suggest you to look upon divine mercy, what it is. But also I believe there will be also a sign like a cross in the stars that I saw it. It's a cross over a second moon. I won't talk about everything like this. These were visions that I had during 2010 and 13, my apostolate there. And then I left the church, I left Christ. And when I came back many years later or so, or he said, you broke my heart. And nevertheless, we're not going to talk about this. And this I believe is, oh my, it's without influencing people. And this is the, I didn't know, but in the following days I will study a bit everything, and I will fall into the study of this cryptocurrency, which bitcoins and everything. And oh my, on the left it was the Ripple. There's a Ripple coin. On the right it's a blockchain. And I stopped. Oh, and I must say now that it comes back to my mind, when I saw him, it's with the face, I also saw, like I could see the word face, but I didn't see it written, but it's almost as if I would have seen it written. And I stopped. And we know that there's a bit of stoppage for the Libra money, Libra of Facebook money. And this cryptocurrency also, and blockchain is where this currency exists. It's in a blockchain. And for people who don't know, it's everybody has the system. And that's why sometimes when you do a transaction, if it's very big like Bitcoin as history, because I had a vision about this, it takes like 10 minutes because everybody is the bank, everybody has this centralized in the computer. And it's encrypted, and that's why they call it cryptocurrency and blockchain. So I stopped with the chain, and when I did, he looked at me because I realized it was the devil, and he looked at me like this with a little smile. The vision ended. Usually when I see something on the left, it's the worst. If somebody runs on the left or goes on the left. When it's on the right, well, it depends if the conqueror is on the right to go to the left, but and on the right it was a stoppage, and it's the blockchain and stuff. So, and the face for me was the Facebook money, Libra, which recently, a week after that, we saw in the news some of you that made a deal with Shopify. And Shopify is a website where you can do sell things, and now, and Instagram. So they will be able with to sell and receive money, and have this selling through Facebook. So it's like he's doing more now, the company Facebook, before this implementation government that is centralized more or less, like the the system with the banks and the money. Saying this, I heard that there will be still a coin in placement by another prophet, another visionary seers called End Time Signs Online, that there will still be a coin in circulation, though, while this Mark of the Beast system, money electronically, probably with RFID chip. Uh, this it's always an evolution, right? It's always an evolution with this cryptocurrency and everything. So this was the first dream I didn't share, and I usually share every day. Then I had one with Trump, not Trump, Trudeau. I walked, and then a few steps, and then I see Trudeau in opposite of me with somebody on his left. And I said, I was explaining myself, and it was even in the dream, like flew vague. I'm like, I could have drawn a line between to left to right, but there was so much pressure because of the past. You live in the past. And when I said you, I was talking about people. And it was vague like this, kind of tuck, 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 making me seems like I should explain myself, or at least say about this, because just before that, before my silence, I did speak how I fell from grace. I said tried to kill, did something, and then I got hurt in the face, and then etc. And I knew that the world would have been blessed. I was an artist, and I was receiving constantly to the max, but I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know better. I didn't know Jesus. I didn't know, and it was the pressure. The pressure was there without knowing it. And then when somebody just completely laughed in my face, knowing me about this, and taking me down when I was asking for help or stuff. I won't talk too much about it. I've said it enough. Uh, you know, I didn't got no trouble for that, but I lost my health. So, and when I said I couldn't draw a line to that, but the pressure, the money, not the money. I said the pressure, the past. You live in the past. It was flu. The guy on his left, both was looking at me. Let's say I was here, opposite of me here, Trudeau, and the guy on his left. The guy on his left that was looking at me just like Trudeau looked at Trudeau with a half smile and said he could have. Trudeau was still looking at me, and that was it. Um, I still didn't publish that. I didn't care. I was in silence. I wanted some money. Then the third one was